Hey everyone, it's DFA, welcome back to the channel, and today I have something very exciting to be showing you. Yes, it's going to be another video about the Béarn, but watch, don't leave, because this one is certainly worth it. It's a video on how to counter that thing, because yeah, I've reviewed it a couple of days ago. And if you've watched that video, you might remember that I was not too enthusiastic about the ship. Essentially, that thing has tier 8 fighters at tier 6, two almost unbeatable squadrons that will trash your fighter squadron even if you manage to fight them on top of your CV or any other ship in your team. To complement that, he does have to, actually I would say to balance that, he does have the rest of its arsenal is actually fairly limited. He only has 2 dive bomber squadrons, which are really poor AP bombs, no fire, no floodings for you. And so its damage output is incredibly poor, and its mobility is atrociously bad. It has Langley levels of mobility, so it's a retarded Saipan. All it has going for it is excellent fighters, but it does not take any skill to be played, to be honest. Unlike the Saipan, which is actually not easy to play and takes a lot of attention and micromanagement to be performing quite well. So the Béarn, it's the opposite of that, and I was very disappointed with it, with its release. But I decided to test a couple of methods to counter it, since a raw dogfight is not going to work. And I'm going to explain you how to counter it, and for that you need a Weser, the tier 6 German CV. And I'm going to show you how to do it. What you absolutely have to do is to bait its fighters. So we're not going to do that right away. Obviously you want to avoid any direct confrontation with its fighters, so you want to harass its dive bombers as soon as you can, as soon as there you go, I've managed to bait them. Watch what is going to happen. The Weser, it's a fairly average CV at tier 6, it's okay really, it's well balanced, it has German characteristics, but it does have one unique feature: its fighters are the fastest at the tier, and you guessed it, the Béarn. Once they are baited, they're never going to be able to catch me, and all I have to do is simply take them for a walk around the minimap, and now I'm quiet and I can simply play my game. They're going to keep following my fighters like that for well until I decide that it's over or I make a mistake. So there you go, a fairly simple method. All you have to do is bait its fighter squadrons once, of course. Yeah, he still has his dive bombers, AP dive bombers, and if one of my teammates decide to commit suicide in front of him, it's not going to go very well, but you see that his 2 fighter squadrons, no matter how dangerous they are simply not able to catch me. And so yes, it's a fairly retarded ship, and you have to play it like a retard. That's exactly what I'm going to do here and now. He's just left with his 2 bomber squadrons, and I can simply play my game, focus on the enemy team. Unfortunately, my team isn't doing super well in that game, but I don't care. I'm neutralizing the most important feature of the enemy CV, and that's all that matters to me. I can actually play my game and have fun with my own CV. Now, to be very clear, this is not going to function with the Independence, the Ryujo and the other tier 6 CV, because the Béarn fighters are going to catch you at some point. So it's not like the Saipan, it doesn't have the fastest fighters at the tier, but they're certainly fast enough to be catching Independence and Ryujo fighters. Only the Weser has actually a chance. And as long as you manage to move your fighters like this, you see that I'm sometimes making them pass over my ships to weaken them, so if I have to dogfight them at some point it becomes a little bit easier. But now I'm in a brawling situation against a cruiser that is trying to cap our base, and actually focus him while my fighters are distracting the enemy Béarn. So, Weser making use of one very interesting feature of the ship. I'm not going to review it tonight, there will be a separate guide on the Weser, because it certainly has a couple of interesting features. It's a very good, I would say, training ship for the rest of the German CV line. But it's not the point of today's video. Today we are simply using one of its features, showing you how to troll the enemy Béarn. And you see, I was not paying enough attention. I was too focused on the fight with that cruiser who's actually capping my base, and I left my fighters unattended for a little bit too long, and now they are engaged in a dogfight with the Béarn, and you can probably guess how this is going to do. I'm not expecting them to come back anytime soon. But yeah, of course, if I had not been in such a complicated situation around my base, then it would have been just fine and I would have kept him out for a walk until the end of the game. And so there you go, that's the method. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people will actually find their Béarn suddenly a lot more their Weser. Oh, their Weser suddenly a lot more interesting. Believe me, the Béarn is absolutely not interesting. And I'm not sure the Béarn player is having the game or the time of his life at the moment. So yes, go ahead, try to find those CVs, practice that method. I've tested it in a training room, it can last very, very long. They're never going to be able to catch you. Unfortunately, it's the only CV who's able to do that, so that's the catch. I'm going to look for other methods to be countering it with the other CV, but it's going to probably to be a little bit more complicated. And actually notice that I had weakened its squadron so much while taking them around and on top of my ships that my fighters actually won the dogfight. So I'm going to call them back to base, but yeah, they're probably not going to make it a second time. So yeah, in the meantime, we're certainly not going to be winning that battle. I think it doesn't look very, very good. I was not able to enter the cap soon enough to prevent the enemy cruiser from, taking points off our table. So we're certainly going to be losing that. But it's okay, that's not the point of this video. The point was to show you how to counter that new Saipan at tier 6. And you see that my fighters are actually back in action. And guess what we are going to do? His fighters are not there, so we're going to annoy its dive bombers. And then, guess what is going to happen? I'm going to bait his fighters once again. I think it must be pretty pissed right now protecting his Rio de Janeiro. There you go, bait it, and off you go to the other side of the map. And let's see if I can actually put a couple of torpedoes on that Rio before the game is over. Yeah, that's going to be a bit complicated, only 8 seconds left. I'm not going to be able to manage it, so there you go. I'm just going to troll him for the last time and make him regret buying that thing. And yeah, we finished with the Battlestar, a fairly decent game for us, close to 50k, one ship sunk, close to 300 team marks, so that's a fairly good game, as if he was not there essentially, and he actually was not there for most of the game. So there you go, my previous videos on the Béarn were a bit depressing, to be honest. I had no idea what to do against that thing, but I think I was able to show you, to give you hope. There is hope at the end of the tunnel. In the meantime, let's check the results. Yeah, it did have a fairly good game with the Béarn 36,000, but we did better, and that's the end of the guide. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe, take care. That was DFA signing out. Bye bye.